Hello lovelies, this is Corey. Welcome to another tips, tricks, and hacks video. Today I'm going to show you how to use an eyedropper with watercolor to create pretty great paint splatters, or big splats more like. So right here you see Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus watercolors, and they actually come with their own dropper. I'm going to screw off the top here so you can see. So they come built in, the lid has the eyedropper, perhaps for this very purpose, but also just for easy dispensing. Now the Hydrus watercolors are very, very intense, super bright. They're almost like an ink in that once they're on the paper, they're really, really hard to get off. They're not quite as forgiving as regular watercolor from a tube, and you saw all my tubes of paint in the rest of that plastic box there. So here is the quinacridone magenta, and boop. There you go. So you just hold it from a height and let a drop of paint fall on the paper, and it creates a natural sort of splattered edge look. Now, if you want more of that splatter, you're going to take it higher. So I've taken the paint above the camera, and oh, the suspense, there it is. So you'll see that even like little bits have kind of gone over across the page onto even the next page. So it just creates a 100% naturally made paint splat. Now, the Hydrus watercolors by Dr. P.H. Martin are very expensive, and I hardly use them anymore just because what I spoke about earlier with them having such a high intensity, they're not quite as forgiving. So I'll only go over those, go over a final painting with those when I want a really intense color. Otherwise, with regular watercolor, whether you use watercolor from a metal tube or even just like a Crayola watercolor palette, you can make very watered down color and put it in an eyedropper. So here I'm using the green and use my eyedropper to put more water, and then just with my paintbrush going back into the paint as many times as I can, mixing it with the water to make it fairly strong. If it's too watered down, then you're going to have a very light splatter, a very light colored splatter, which is fine, but the paper really absorbs the color more so than the Hydrus watercolor that I just used, that magenta color. So you use your eyedropper, suck up some of the paint, and there you can see it's right on in there. And then I'm going up above the camera to make sure I get high enough so I get that decent splatter. And now, one of the drawbacks of this technique is that you don't have as much control of where it lands. So you can sort of try and go, oh, I want it in the lower part of the page or the upper part of the page, but sometimes you'll have what just happened where you accidentally drop on top of another drop. But that's okay, because the colors bled in really nicely, and I liked that. Finally, I'm going to show you, that was paint on dry paper. So what if you do drops on wet paper? So I'm wetting the little upper corner of my paper, sucking up some of the green paint with the eyedropper, and then you don't have to hold it as high, because you'll see when you drop it on the water, your edges are going to completely bleed out, which is actually a really beautiful effect. It can add sort of almost even kind of an icy look to it. And go into the side there, and then just look at it go. It just spreads all the way. See how far it went, and then add one more drop there. Now, what would be really great is if you use different colors that blend well together, and then you could create a very pretty kind of tie-dyed background. But that is what it looks like all dry. It takes a while to dry. I had to give it about 15-20 minutes, and even the magenta is still pretty bright. So that is how to create that kind of effect. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.